Hello and welcome to Insights from an Autistic. I am Armand Kodai, and today's video is on autism communication secrets. I'm going to talk about how to communicate to an autistic individual, and I'm going to talk about how an autistic individual communicates. Let me first start with the former. Actually, I mean the latter. How an autistic individual communicates. So there are various ways that someone on the autism spectrum might communicate, depending on how much autism affects their ability to communicate. And I'm going to discuss more about where I've been and gone. So first things first, repetition of words. This is a very common thing for a great deal of autistic people, and for me, I still sometimes do it, except for I can now sort of catch myself, but sometimes I don't catch myself repeating myself, saying the same phrases over and over again, saying the same choice words, or talking about the same thing over and over again. This is very common. And the reason for me doing this is because first of all, I don't hear myself saying it. Even if I'm giving a presentation, I might repeat myself, and I don't hear, I don't feel like I hear it. Sometimes I don't think I say it because maybe I don't get a reaction. Maybe the audience doesn't react to me, or of course that's more recent. Maybe I'm in a conversation and I don't get a reaction. I say something and I don't get a reaction, and then I don't process it. So I don't even realize I'm saying it again, or I say it again because I don't think they hear me. So that's the repetition aspect. There's also an autism, like there's a process, a way of thinking, like a track, so to say. And so the conversation will be focused around the interest, because that's who we are. We are our passions. A lot of autistic people, they have a passion. That's who they are. They see that passion as themselves. When I was a really big Star Wars collector, I saw my Star Wars collection as who I am. Today, I see myself not just as a writer. I see myself as writing. Not like I'm writing, but I see myself like writing is who I am. Like it is my entity is that of writing. My entity was that of Star Wars. If that makes sense to you. If it doesn't, ask me and I'll clarify that maybe in a future video. Actually, I don't think that's very clear. I think I can be a little bit more clear. So I'm saying that, like with writing, I don't just see myself as a writer. I am writing. I am Star Wars. If you have a kid who really likes Thomas the Train, that kid is Thomas the Train. Not necessarily Thomas the Train, but he is the world of Thomas the Train. It is not just a world. It's not just a character. He is one with that world. That is his world. That is the reality. So that's how that goes. And so the conversation, the communication, takes place as with this within this world, within this identity. So for me, when I was really into Star Wars, that was how I communicated, was through Star Wars. Whether that would be by watching Star Wars or talking about it and non-stop. And to me, because I was so passionate about Star Wars, because that was who I am, I thought that you would be equally as passionate about Star Wars. When I say you, I'm giving a metaphor of like someone that I was having a conversation with. So that is that. So conversation-wise, communication is I am so passionate about this, I'm communicating that. So someone who's really into Spider-Man, a kid that's really into Spider-Man, who is autistic or Asperger's or whatever, they will be, that will be that. That'll be the passion. The communication revolves around that. And sometimes there might be a trickery involved, where maybe it seems like we're not communicating about that, but it always comes back to our passion or interest. It will come back to Star Wars. It'll come back to video games if your kid's really into video games. You'll notice this. You've probably noticed it by now. It definitely happens. Always comes back to that. It might seem like, oh, they're going off into what we're talking about, but somehow they take it back, and they will make that into the conversation. At least that's what I would do. So since I would do it, I assume other people have done the same thing. Okay, I think I've probably confused you guys more than answered questions. So I apologize. I'm trying to explain to you how the communication works. So that is part of it. The world, just communicating by that, expressing that. It's like an expression of oneself. Okay. So that's part of autism communication. Then, of course, there's... So, even though autism might seem like there's communication barriers, which there is also, as I'm mentioning, there is a language in autism. There is a form of communication that is common for a lot of autistic people, and if you sometimes see two autistic people get together, who have similar interests, they can really start to bond and start communicating in their language. Maybe they're really into Star Wars, and just they get really well together. So this leads me to the secret. Why, if you're a parent, you really want to watch this right now. The secret to communication with an autistic person, with an autistic child, or whatever. Here is the secret. I've told you that that our passion is our identity. So the secret is this. You must join in on our role. You must be as passionate about our passion. You have to become. Oh, not that passionate. But you have to become passionate about our passion. Show that you're interested in our passion. By showing that you're interested in our passion, you're showing that you're interested in us. You might really love your child, and you might buy him a Spider-Man toy, or a Thomas the Train, or whatever, or Pokemon cards. Now that's feeding their passion, but that's not necessarily engaging their passion. It's not really showing that you really get it. You see, if you show that you get their passion, you're saying, I understand you. I am interested in you. Because that passion, like Star Wars for me, when I was really into Star Wars, that was me. So when you are passionate about Star Wars, you are saying to your child, I am passionate about you. You see, that is the secret. So you have to not just bias these things or whatever. Or, you have to really try to see it from our perspective, why this is so interesting to us, and get excited about it with us. If your child is really excited about something, somehow, some way, become excited about it. Join in on it, and share your excitement with your child, and then your child's like, oh wow, you get me, mom, you get me, dad, or you get me, teacher, or whoever. See, that is the secret. And so now you know. And as the old G.I. Joe phrase goes, knowing is half the battle. So I thank you for watching this video. G.I. Joe was my old interest before Star Wars when I was a little kid, so that's why I mentioned it. So I thank you for watching this video, and I wish you an awesome day of awesomeness. If you have any questions, anything like that, feel free to ask me. Be sure to check out my awesome blog of awesomeness on my website, empowerautismnow.com. And again, I wish you a really terrific, wonderful day of awesomeness. Goodbye.